Hey, what is up? Welcome to another episode of the Underground Artists University. Today, we're going to be talking about consistent intensity. I'm doing the thing again, putting two together that you usually see separate and confusing the crap out of you, like I did with disciplined motivation. Now, we got consistent intensity. You may have heard it said, consistency beats intensity, but blend them seamlessly, and you'll wield a force that swiftly crushes the competition and setting you apart very quickly. So, I've heard this quote, I've read this quote, I've read about it in a book. It's actually one of the books I recommend, I think, which is Win the Day. And consistency is key, Consistency is important. Showing up consistently is important, especially as an artist. Especially with today's 2-second attention span culture, to stay in the mind of your fan base, you gotta release music often. And especially if you got most listeners on Spotify and stuff like that. But consistency is important. And I'm not saying it's not just by saying this. I'm saying you need both, like with discipline and motivation. You to really set yourself apart as an artist. This is what I've found. This is what I've come to experience. Consistent intensity will set you apart very quickly. So, let's talk about consistent intensity. This isn't just about going through the motions. It's about taking massive action to propel your artistic journey forward. It's about making your everyday routines even more than they are. Almost like exaggerating them in your mind so that you not only always show up and do them because they're very important to you, you've made them important in your mind, but now you're bringing more energy to it because it can become mundane day in and day out, trying to work towards something, and just in the long run, it's very difficult to maintain intensity and consistency, to always show up, and sometimes you might fail to, and that's fine. We all fail, and we learn from that. But you should focus on practicing consistency to the point where it becomes intensity, and dressing up those daily mundane things that you have to do, in whatever ways you can find. Like for me, working on my music and stuff like that, this is a battle I have to fight. That's kind of like how I think, probably because I'm a guy. But whatever it is, to make things more, your daily routines, more than they are, do it, because they are more important than they often seem to us. So I'm going to write that down as an episode idea real quick, because I need to do that. Because now I need to go deeper on that, because you probably want some ways, well, how do I do that? I want to answer those kind of questions. So, sorry for the pause here. Okay. So that will just add to the intensity whenever you do that. But really, all I'm saying is, when you pair discipline, motivation with consistency, then you get consistent intensity. Because you're always disciplined, you're always motivated. That helps you become consistent. And then just adding all those to the mix, I'm just really exaggerating, saying you become really consistent is all I'm saying. So that's the goal, because that's going to set you apart as an artist. And then in a world where there is so many artists And it's kind of a term marketers use, like, you want to get out of red ocean, get into a blue ocean. It's called the blue ocean strategy, where you do different things to set yourself apart. Or, well, you might have heard like niching down or things like that. The riches are in the niches, like it's better to be the big fish in a small pond than to just be another fish in a massive ocean. So consistent intensity is just another way that you can set yourself apart. Especially, like I said, when that intensity is consistent, and especially over a long period of time, that's definitely going to set you apart. And that's one of the biggest struggles of any artist today, is setting themselves apart. So this is what I've experienced that I've found has helped set me apart. So, consistency is the backbone of progress. It isn't always about huge leaps. It's the small, deliberate steps that accumulate into something significant, whether it's daily practice, weekly goals, monthly projects, or a combination of all of those, which I think you should break it down into those. You should have big kind of monthly projects or goals, weekly goals, and break it down into a daily practice that you reach those goals. Add intensity to the mix. Consistency alone is potent, but when you infuse it with intensity, you create a powerhouse, setting yourself apart. Intensity doesn't mean burning out. It's about focused, energetic effort. Imagine your consistency as the steady beat of a drum, and intensity as the electrifying crescendo. So, get into a practical tip here. Create a schedule. Block out specific times for your artistic endeavors. Treat it like a meeting with yourself that you can't cancel, whether it's composing, practicing, or marketing. Those are kind of 3 things you're going to probably do if you're a solo artist like me. If you're in your band, then you can kind of have people do different parts or whatever, but make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. Next, like we talked in the last episode about being fortified by motives, I'm going to be a little bit redundant here. Repeat myself. Next, set realistic goals. Break down your larger artistic vision into manageable tasks. It could be completing a song, reaching out to potential collaborators, or dedicating time to learn a new skill. Small, achievable goals maintain consistency and fuel intensity. And another thing that will help, and I've talked about this before, is don't forget accountability. Share your goals with a fellow artist or a friend who understands your journey. Having someone to check in can provide the push you need to stay consistent and elevate your intensity. There are a lot of online groups and stuff like that aren't full of a bunch of morons, actually full of people who will help you, who will inspire you, who will fuel the fire, and that's important to have too. Sometimes you need someone outside of you to help you, and it could be to help simply just motivate you. It could help you to see a problem you're not seeing, or a solution to a problem you're not seeing, because you're going to deal with a lot of those as an artist as well. So, doing all the things I've talked about in the past episodes, putting them into application, those are all going to help you get to a place where you're being consistent with how you're showing up as an artist. If you want to grow anywhere, if you want to get better at something, be consistent with putting it into practice. And I would say on a daily basis. For example, you want to grow on Facebook? Live stream every day. Show up. Any other platform? Show up. Whether it's a live stream, doing a video, posting something, just sharing something, show up consistently. Put that into practice. Make it a skill that you're practicing, because when you practice it long enough, you're going to be consistently intense. You can have consistent intensity. That's going to set you apart in the long run. So, that's really all I have for today's episode. I want you to reflect on how you can integrate consistent intensity into your artistic routine. How you're going to do it is just being consistent. Discipline your motivation. Motivate your discipline. Embrace the rhythm of consistency and unleash the power of intensity. Your journey as an artist is a marathon, not a sprint. So, lace up your creative shoes, keep moving forward, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Actually, I'm just realizing I need to do the resources section today, so. Great. Whoops. Bumped the mic. That woke you up. Great resources. Hyped it. Use this to grow my email list, to grow my Spotify followers, my YouTube subscribers. And they have courses you can check out. Very cheap for what you will learn. And it's a really great platform. There's also a community there of artists that you can engage with. So check it out. And each course has a community. Have a learner's heart. Be a student. And that'll get you far. You're going to learn a lot. Be willing to invest in yourself. You're taking the time to listen to this. Check out the courses that Hyped It has. Check out the platform. It's a great resource for artists. But also, I'll say this. If you don't have music online or things like that, like you haven't created music yet or anything, then there's not much point in getting that as a subscription and everything. You got to have music to give away and to direct people to and stuff like that. So check out DistroKid. That's going to help you distribute your music places. It's going to put your music on Spotify, all the different streaming platforms, stuff like that. If you don't have music, I don't really have a resource for you as far as that goes. Get to writing. If you're a solo artist and maybe you don't play instruments and stuff like that, the best advice I could give you, and I'm going to do this as an episode now too, like what to do if you haven't made any music yet. Say if you're a singer and you can't play any instruments, what you should do, I'm going to go in depth on this in another episode now. You should set up some sort of social platform, and not just like a personal page, but like an artist page somewhere, like Facebook, for example. Facebook's probably the easiest one to grow on fast if you're doing consistent live streams. If you're a singer, you can do cover songs, things like that, or if you've written songs, you can live stream those. If you have music and everything, you can do that. If you're someone who has music and has everything you need to kind of play your songs online, you can start doing that and building an audience that way. Think of ways you can start building an audience for your music even though you don't have an album released yet. And how you can start building your influence. And I will find some more resources for you if you want to get to a place where you want to make an album, stuff like that. The other one I would recommend that I don't have a referral link for is Savvy Musician Academy. They will give you everything I'm giving you, but a lot better. Because that is what is the online course I've used for years. I've attended for years, for a long time. And it's helped me massively to change everything I was doing, to actually contribute to building a career rather than just kind of floating along and not really taking any specific actions or, But no matter where you are, or what kind of artist you are, what you do, mindset is important, and the things I'm going to talk about are going to help you. Savvy Musician Academy is going to give you a lot of help in practical ways you can start growing your music into a business. Do you have things you could teach people? Do you have things you could just, like I said, start putting yourself out there is the most important thing. Put yourself out there. But I'm going to go deeper on this in another episode because I'm getting off on a side note here whenever I was just going through the resources and I'm about to end the episode. DistroKid is great for distributing your music. I think I said that already. So once you have it. So you can do that. And then I have some books I recommend, and you can check those out. The list will be in the notes. So check that out. Thanks for joining me. If you have any requests, questions, let me know, and I'll do my best.